So you're looking for new speed boots, but should you buy the X Speedflow, the new PUMA Ultra, or the also relatively new Vapor 14? Well, in today's video, I'm gonna pit the three boots against each other in the big speed boot battle of 2021. Which means that hopefully by the end of this video, you will know which of the three models you want. Now to do that, we're going to take a look at how they fit and feel, what the touch is like, we'll rate the outsoles, and I'll of course also take a look at the price and value for money. So let's start with the fit and the feel. What we're looking at here are three boots which are made with relatively thin synthetic uppers. The X's are made with a full prime knit upper, whereas the Ultra and Mercs are a bit more similar in the sense that they have this grid-like shell, which is then surrounded by thin synthetic support layers. And honestly, they're all pretty soft out of the box, but if I have to rank them, and you probably want to know which is the softest, I would say that the X is softer and more pliable, and then the Ultra and Merc feel pretty similar. The Merc has a bit more structure, and I would say the Ultra is softer, probably because it's also a thinner material. But with that said, they are all pretty soft, especially when you break them in. And for such thin boots, they are actually pretty comfortable. So I don't really think that this factor should matter that much. In terms of the fit itself, the Mercurial is, weirdly enough, and I never thought I would say this, the widest of the bunch. With that said, it still gives you a pretty snug and tight fit all around your foot. The Ultra is super snug around your midfoot and then has a bit more volume and width in the toe box. And then we have the X, which gives you this completely streamlined and very sleek fit where you almost forget that you're wearing it, because you just step into the boot and it fits tightly around your foot immediately to the point where the upper almost disappears. It's a very unique feeling. Now, I'm true to size in all of the boots and they fit me well, but I do feel that the X's and the Ultras have slight bit more length to them, giving me a millimeter or so more compared to the Mercs. Then there's the matter of lockdown, which is of course pretty important to a speed boot. And of course, naturally, the X Speedflow Plus falls a bit behind because it is laceless. Nothing to hold you down. But with that said, the way they've engineered it is so impressive that it does such a good job that I wouldn't mind wearing this in a match instead of the Ultras or the Mercs. However, the Vapor 14s feel like they do offer a slightly more locked-in fit compared to the X's, with the Ultra, and Ultra, pun intended, close second. However, if you bring the X Speedflow 0.1 into the mix, I would say that at least the three of them feel pretty similar and all offer impressive lockdown. And finally, we have weight and protection. Now, in my size US 7, I know, I have small feet, the Vapors are 176 grams, the X Speedflow Plus are 168 grams, and then the Ultra 1.3 is a stupidly light 141 grams. In terms of protection, a thinner and lighter boot also means that you have less material and structure to protect your foot, so yeah, go figure. But honestly, if you're looking for protection, you shouldn't go and buy a speed boot because there isn't much in either of these. But then there's the weight. Does it matter and should it be a decisive factor? Well, yes and no, because they're all light enough that I think you're gonna like it and it's gonna make you feel light on your toes. But the Ultra is just so significantly lighter and offers that wow factor when you wear them, so I can definitely see that factor alone swaying a few people. When it comes to the touch, you do get a pretty similar feeling on the ball in all three, because they're all made with thin uppers, meaning that you feel a lot of what you do. It's very raw and true. So instead, the difference comes down to the feeling of the texture, where you get a slightly more gritty texture on the Vapors and to some extent in the X, and a slightly more sticky and matte coated sensation on the Ultra, which I at least needed to get used to, so I stuck so much to the ball that I fell over the ball playing in these for the first time. Also, in terms of the thinness, they do feel relatively close to the ball, with the Ultras and the X potentially slightly closer, and the Mercurials having a bit more material between your foot and the ball. In terms of grip, I would say the Ultra is the best. followed by the Mercs. When we're looking at traction, things get a bit interesting because while they're all honestly really good, I do feel that the X is the king. And this is why. The Carbitex insert in the forefoot, making it feel so aggressive and responsive when you push off, basically like if you're a sprinter pushing off into a pair of start blocks. The Mercurial, I think, has the most aggressive stud shape and pattern, and it probably also just edges the Ultra for the power of the snapback. It doesn't mean that the Ultra is toothless in any way, but it just feels like the Mercurial, and especially the X, is a bit more angry. But that small lack of outsole ferocity doesn't really matter in the big scheme of things, because there's also the matter of price. Here, the X Speedflow Plus is €280, the Mercurial Vapor 14 is €250, and the Ultra 1.3 from PUMA is €200. €200, which is very, very impressive for a boot of this quality. And when we're talking value for money, there's just no discussion. It doesn't get better than this. Is €280 then too much for the X Speedflow Plus? Well, yeah, it's a lot of money, but this is also so unique, so special, and unlike anything you've probably ever tried in your life before, that I'm not too mad about it. But €200, there's no arguing with that. But which is the better boot then? Look, this is where it gets kind of tricky because I genuinely enjoy playing in all three. And that also means that I don't really think that you can make the wrong choice here. Instead, I think it's about finding out what the best boot for your needs would be. So you should go for the X. I think if you want that completely one-to-one ballet dancer-like fit, go for the Ultras if you want the thinnest, the lightest, and also, of course, the cheapest. And you should go for the Mercs if you just want a boot that does everything extremely well. Gun to my head, I would choose the X. What about you guys? Let me know in the comment section right down below, and then go cop all three boots via the link to Unisport right over there. But not, of course, before you make sure you subscribe to the channel with the notifications on. And with those words, I'll be signing off. This was difficult. Cheerio.